Hi, and welcome to Everyday English with Amanda. Today, we are continuing what we started with our grammar lesson, and today we are going to cover questions in simple present tense. When we make simple present questions, we use do or does. However, we don't need to use them if the sentence has verbs like is, am, or are, which we call verb to be. So I'll give you some examples. Do I know you? Do you eat breakfast every morning? When do we have our next class? Where does she go shopping? Where do they study English? How often do you exercise? How often does he come over? How much does it cost? This is the question form of a sentence. If I want to say, for example, I eat breakfast every morning, and then I want to change it to a question, it will be, do you eat breakfast every morning? So I added do. Do, what we call, is a helping verb. Okay, so we use it to help make the question. When you have a do question, do or does, at the beginning of the question, the answer is very straightforward and very short. Okay? Do you exercise every morning? Yes, I do. Does she exercise every morning? Yes, she does. That is the positive part. That's what you're saying, yes. If you're saying no and the answer is negative, you always have to add do not or does not. So, do they exercise every morning? No, they don't. Do you exercise every morning? No, I don't. Does she exercise every morning? No, she doesn't. You always have to know how to form the question and then how do you answer the question. This is what we call short answer questions. If it's a WH question, usually it's a longer answer. How often do you exercise? I exercise once a week. Let's look at these questions and try to choose the correct verb. Miss Smith worked in the library. Do you think do, does, or did? The correct answer is does Miss Smith work in the library? Or did Miss Smith work in the library? They both correct. We're using does because she. Number 2. You catch the train to work. Which would be the two correct ones? Answer is, do you catch the train to work? Okay? Remember, we're talking about the present. We can say did if we're talking about the past, but we are focusing now on the present tense. So, do you catch the train to work? We used do because the subject here is you. Mr. and Mrs. Jones teach at UTS University. Mr. and Mrs. Jones are two people. So they. With they, what do we use? Do Mr. and Mrs. Jones teach at university? Number 4. How many brothers and sisters Anna have? The subject here is Anna. She. What do we use? How many brothers and sisters does Anna have? If you're asking about a place, okay, and remember at the beginning of the video I said when we have verb to be, we don't need do or does. We don't need any help. So where? The library. The answer would be the library is a few meters away, for example. So the library is, if we change it to a question, we would say where is the library, not where does the library. Where is the library? If you're not sure, always try to answer the question. And then by answering the question, you give yourself a clue of what word to use. Okay, which sentence do you think is right? Where do you go on weekends? When are we have lunch? Or what do they do after class? I'm hoping you guessed right. That is the correct sentence. Question. What do they do after class? Number A is wrong because there's no helping verb. If I want to make it correct, I will say, where do you go on weekends? Okay. When are we have lunch is also wrong. We can say we have lunch at 10 o'clock. When do we have lunch? So it needs the helping verb. So C is the correct answer. Let's look at these unscramble questions and try to put them in the correct order. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to look at it and try to put it in order. So number 1, where usually do you lunch? How can we put it in the correct order? Where do you usually eat lunch? You have to notice the correct order when you're asking the question. Where do you usually eat lunch? I eat lunch in a cafe, for example. Number 2, when the university the bus arrive at does? Of course, don't say that. How would we say it correctly? How would we ask the question correctly? So we know is WH always comes at the beginning, so that would be easy. Then look here. That should help you. So the correct answer will be, when does the university bus arrive? Number 3. How say in you this do word English? How can we say the question correctly? So we know WH always comes at the beginning and then the helping verb. How do you say this word in English? How do you say this word in English? These are long questions. It will take time to practice using them correctly. Now we're moving to writing short answers, like I said at the beginning. For example, do you have any sisters? You can say, yes, I do. No, I don't. Are you the oldest child in your family? No, I'm not. Yes, I am. Does your house have a nice garden? Your house. The pronoun is it. Yes, it does. No, it doesn't. That would be the end of the video. It does take a lot of practice to learn this, but you need to keep practicing and using them. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and write any comments about the video. Thank you.